Turkey work is a series of loops and locks. We start by going down through the fabric with all 6 strands, no knot on the end. Come up at the right side of that tail, and then down on the left side to create a locking stitch. So this is locking in that tail so it won't move. Now we're going to create a loop by coming up just above that locking stitch. We're going to pull that through, and you're going to create a loop by going right back down in the fabric right next to where you came up. Pull your thread down through, but leave about a 1/2 inch loop. It doesn't have to be exact. Now bring your needle up to the right of your loop strands, and then back down either right under it or in between the strands of your loop. And then pull that down through the fabric tight. And this is your locking stitch. So we did the loop, and then this is the lock. It's just a straight little stitch at the bottom of the loop. It can overlap it or be just under it, but it holds the loop in place so it won't pull through the fabric. So we come up and then back down as close as we can to that previous loop. Leave another loop. It doesn't have to be the exact same height. Come up to the right side of your loop and then back down, either in between the strands of the loop or right under it, to lock it in place. Then we're going to move down to the next line. Come up, and then we're going to make a locking stitch to start, just to secure everything. Now come up right above your locking stitch, and then over to the left a little bit, leave a loop. You can hold that up with your thumb, and then we're going to make a locking stitch. I'm coming up in between the strands of my loop this time, and then over to the left. Another loop, and then a locking stitch, a loop, and then a locking stitch. So again, your locking stitch is just a little straight stitch underneath a loop to hold it in place. If you come to the end of a strand, make sure you end with a locking stitch, tie it off in the back, and then start just like we did in the beginning where you left off. And you're going to continue each row, remembering to start each row with a locking stitch first. Then do your loop, lock, alternating until you get the whole square filled. And then the fun part, we get to snip all of these loops. So you're going to take a sharp pair of scissors and snip the loops so that they all become straight, sticking up like hair. Then once you've snipped all the loops, we're going to start trimming this and shaping it. We want it to be probably about 1/8 of an inch tall when we're finished. So I just grab a chunk and start snipping across the top. It's kind of like a little haircut. Blow it off as you go, or you might want to use a lint brush or a damp paper towel to get any of the extra fuzzies off of your work. I like to go around the sides, trimming until it gets to the desired length, and go across the top to match the length of the sides. And you just continue trimming. And then I usually tip it to the side. I have to take it out of my stand here to do that, but tip it to the side and make sure that all of your strands are even in height. As long as your stitches are really tight together, you can trim this pretty short and you shouldn't be able to see through it. I've seen people use this for caterpillars, or you could use it for a rug, or you could use it for flowers. And you cut it to whatever length you want to achieve the look that you want. I used this in a pattern last fall to create a basket of mums. And that's turkey work.